Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. It did not take long for the Russians to apprehend what they call the Ukrainian agent who planted the bomb that killed that Russian general 2 days ago. It took them, 24 hours or so? I have a little video with his detention, and I have 2 articles to discuss what the Russians claim that guy is, what he is, and who that guy is. All right, let's start with the Ukrainian article coming from Ukrainska Pravda. This is from Saturday, 26th of April, and the other is with a video again on the 26th of April. Murder of Russian general. FSB announces detention of quote-unquote Ukrainian Special Service Agent. Now, because you ladies like Hollywood movies more than we do, the Hollywood movies are made usually when they portray FBI agents, CIA agents, special agents, handsome and smart and suave with flowers and wine and all that. Well, it's not like that. That's the first one. And I don't want to burst your bubble, but let me show you the Ukrainian version of a special agent, alleged according to the Russians. So here he is. Now that's the guy that you should see in the movies, all right? Right there. That's a special agent. This is your FBI lover of the night. Anyway, my friends, it's funny. It's funny to see this kind of things. Remember, and if you don't know, I tell you. Do you know, I found out this about, 3 years ago, because I was wondering, why are these agents in the FBI, in the Hollywood movies, the agents, special agents, FBI, CIA, these guys are portrayed, in like, how they're portrayed. If they portray one that is, like a dirty one, then they have like 10 that are all suave. It's because, if you did not know, these institutions, FBI, CIA, and these guys, from what I read, have always advisors at Hollywood sets to tell them, well, you should portray this like this, or we should do this, we do this, so they will not portray themselves as they, parallel state or something. Or they will not portray themselves as such. Or maybe you ladies like this one, but nevertheless, let's go and read what these guys say. The Russian Federal Security Service, FSB, has reported an alleged agent, I like this, alleged agent of the Ukrainian Special Services has been detained on suspicion, I like the words, of murdering Lieutenant General Yaroslav Moskalik, Deputy Chief of the Main Operational Directorate of the General Staff of the Russian Armed Forces. The reason why I'm making this video is not to show you that agent or alleged agent or how the Russians are. No. It's to show you that if that guy in Russia, not in the free West, was killed like that, imagine when these guys, whomever did it to this general and others, they decide to do that to, some American or some Western European politicians, generals and so on, who are not better protected than those guys. Remember, it's just an order. And if the Russians are picked like that, that tells you the ones that picked them might not be on the Russian interest. So there is from the other side. Who's the other side? In this case, Ukraine and these baboons who support Ukraine. Now remember, once Ukraine changes faces, they can do the same thing to you. When they disagree with the policies, decisions made in the West, they are perfectly capable of doing the same thing to you with drones and bombs, with javelins, They can do that. They don't have to plant bombs. Easily, they have the weapons, and have the know-how, and they will have a motive. You dropped us. You left us again to the Russians. After all, you left all these guys, including Romanians, Poles, Hungarians, and so on, left us to Soviet Union at that time, which was much, much worse than the boogeyman is portrayed right now in Moscow. So, then they didn't have the means. Now they do. It's just an order. It's just an order. A decision. It's nothing like it can't be done. It can. I'm not saying, oh my God, I'm not promoting anything like this. I'm just reporting that, analyzing a situation. It can be done. Have you ever been to the Hoover Dam? Have you seen how protected it is? I would like you to just go and look over some webcams or some videos, and I've been over there. Just look how protected it is. I'm not going to say any more. Let's move on. This is according to Russian state news agency TASS. As a result of urgent measures, an agent of the Ukrainian Special Services, Ignat Kuzin, born in 1983, who holds a residence permit of Ukraine, has been detained. Okay, according to the FSB, Kuzin placed a bomb in a Volkswagen Golf, Jesus Christ, in Balashikha, near Moscow, resulting in Moskalik being killed in the explosion. It is claimed that the Ukrainian agent bought the car and installed an improvised explosive device in it, taking the components for the explosive from a cache that special service had set in Moscow Oblast. The FSB said the explosive device was remotely activated from Ukraine as Moskalik was leaving the entrance of a residential building. Well, where was it activated from, and how come the guy was sitting in Ukraine, in Russia? I have no idea. But anyway, the suspect was brought to the investigative committee of the Russian Federation as part of the criminal case under Article and illegal possession of explosive of the Russian Criminal Code. So this was in the morning of the 25th of April when that car just happened to explode. And now let me show you the video with this guy coming from the Russians. Here, this is Russia Today. Ukrainian, quote unquote, you see, this is professionalism. Ukrainian agent, quote unquote, involved in Russian general's assassination, detained, FSB. The high-ranking military official was killed by a car bomb on Friday morning in the suburban Moscow town of Balashikha. And here is the video. We're gonna play the video, right? Let me just make this bigger. All right, talking about women, right? More bigger is better. All right, let's go. 3, 2, 1. You're not gonna see anything but a butt. There you go. So this is it. Now, I don't know if the face matches the butt. You know what I mean? I don't know if the great Hollywood agent matches. But this is it, my friend. This is the video. So let's see what the Russians are reporting. So they say these guys detained a Ukrainian operative who is suspected, this is journalism, of planting a bomb that killed a Russian two-star general serving as deputy operations chief of the general staff on Friday. In a statement released on Saturday, Russian authorities said the explosive device, which was hidden in a parked car, was activated remotely from Ukraine. This is what these guys say. The man identified Ignat Kuzin. Ignat, that's Ukrainian, I know that. Who has, not in the name, the Ignat versus Ignat. That's why the Russians are Ignat, the other guys are Ignat. Where are you, baby doll? Right here somewhere. Ignat Kuzin. All right. And the same thing they say, according to officials, the suspect retrieved the components from a bar from a cache and planted the explosive device inside the vehicle. All right, let's see what these guys are. They say that along with a statement, the FSB released a video depicting the suspect's apprehension, the butt, as well as his subsequent interrogation. All right, they already interrogation. That's probably, certainly this right here. In it, the 42-year-old man said that he had been, and I'm quoting, recruited by Ukrainian Special Services by a handler, Vadim, in Kiev region in April 2023. According to the testimony, Kuzin arrived in Moscow in September of the same year. I'm quoting, in February 2025, I bought the Volkswagen on Vadim's orders, the suspect recounted, adding that later that month he received the coordinates of the cache containing the explosive materials and the camera. And I'm quoting, the man. When you hear all this, my friends in the West, think that this is New York, not Moscow. Or, I don't know, Los Angeles, or, I don't know, Florida somewhere. Okay? Think about that. Or, I don't know, Berlin, London, or Paris. All that. All right, let's go further. All right, he was month to receive the coordinates of the kit. The man said that the explosion itself was carried out remotely by Vadim the handler. On Friday, Kremlin spokesperson Dmitry Peskov stated that the Kiev regime once again shows its essence by continuing to engage in terrorist activities on Russian soil. Now, You might say this, that, oh, you know what? You can make the case, you are at war with us, which is not a declared war. It's not on paper. We invaded you because this, blah, 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 blah. You defend yourself and so on. So we are at war. So if you think this is legitimate, done by the Ukrainians, then imagine, for instance, a country that we are at war with. Let's say Yemen, the Houthis, or let's say, I don't know, Iran. Pretty soon we'll give 100%. And we are at war with Iran. I will tell you why. Remember when that general was blown up, the Iranian general was blown up in Baghdad, Iraq, right? By under Trump's orders in the first session. Remember? In his first term. I can remember his name. I don't want to say if it was al-Baghdadi or that's a terrorist. Anyway, he was the general from the Iranian Guard. And this guy was all, well, we did it. Now that's a declaration of war. Why? If any other country will blow up, let's say, the one general or an American general in, let's say, in Canada, in Toronto, I guarantee you the Americans will say that's a declaration of war. So, again, de facto, United States of America and Iran were brought together being at war because of the third party. Who's the third party? Starts with an I. And it's neither Iran or Iraq. It's in the same area. So then we have these guys. So we are at war. We blew up their generals. That's a declaration of war. Now imagine the Iranians say, okay, we are at war. We're going to do the same thing to you. Or let's say the Houthis are doing the same thing to us. After all, it's a bombardment right there, isn't it? So is it legitimate? So if it's legitimate by the Ukrainians, it's legitimate by everybody else who's at war. So that, how do you call it, that justification flies. Now you can say, no, only the good people can do this kind of terrorist acts. Doesn't work that way. I mean, not only the good people can rape, only the bad people can rape, or what's going on here? Whomever engages in an act of rape is a bad person already. So the act, regardless who does it, is bad. Now you can say, well, murder sometimes is this and murder is something. Oh, well, you know what? We don't pick and choose here. The problem here is I don't think that's acceptable. And if it's acceptable, how should I put it? I don't want to say that it's not acceptable because I can see when people do this to, take off the head of the army or whatever from the other side. But then if you have the Russians doing the same thing, how is the other guys gonna react? Well, it's just because they ascribed or called the Russians bad and the other guy is good, which it's very much, all right, I made a video on the, how do you call that, the reality of oppositions or the contradictions, or the white is black, up is down. Go and watch that video. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.